Being the Pennsylvania Dutch uncle that I am, I wanted to share with you a little bit about reconstructing these older trucks and what I came up with the solutions so far. So far, Holly Ann has taken her first steps since she died in 1997. Almost 25 years off the road, 2.5 decades. She's back, and I wanted to tell you this is my solution for linkage. This is, I have a stock linkage I got out at the U Pullet yard, you see. According to them, from Holly, it's supposed to go there. I don't know about that. I think it should go down in here. We're having a problem with that. But this was my solution, was I cannibalized the stock bracket, welded that up the best I could, and that's what we came up with. So, without any ado, she took her first steps the other day. This was a nightmare figuring out the braking, having to go out to Harry's, and there's about 3 or 4 different versions of this braking system. This one's mainly Kelsey Hayes, and this residual valve threw me because the residual valve was bad. I wasn't getting any fluid to the back brakes, and then I had to actually settle all the way down in there. I'm terrible. I don't get props and lighting like other people and rubber chickens and all that other stuff. I just give people the basic facts. I got to put a grommet there for my wiring. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to do with some of these hoses. These new brake lines, they make contact everywhere with metal underneath this truck. This brake line kit was probably, I don't know, it was $183 for or not the brake lines, the transmission lines rather. These transmission lines, this kit was so ill-fitting. All the way down in here, below the alternator, it's making contact. The one line is with the motor mount. You got to put something in there. Then on the back side, okay, they're making contact with the starter. And what happens is if you go trying to bend them, you're going to kink one of them or break one of them. I don't know what they're made out of. I think they're aluminum. I don't think they're stainless. And I used aluminum tubing. So this is a solution for this Offenhauser conversion. If you're thinking about it, you're in for some work to do it right. I've got a hose leaking here, and this is still building up. It was running cooler the other day. I think I'm going to eliminate the clutch fan because I can't get a clutch fan worth of shit to work on this truck. So I'm going to start it up for a minute after I tighten that hose and put you guys here on the tripod. I did not put my tripod adapter on. How about that? I'm having an off day in between. I've had a lot of hassles getting parts. You see, I don't think this is the right clutch fan. They don't have direct fit anymore, and you can't get part numbers from Ford anymore. And in between my allergies really kicking in, that's what they gave me. I do not think that that is the correct clutch fan. Why do I know that? Several years ago, let me go get my little socket. Hold on. I'm saying several years ago, I mean many years ago. My friend had a painting business and we painted a van. He dumped a lot of money into this Ford van. That was after he got it with an engine. It was overheating. The engine was shot. It had a lot of blow-by from overheating. So we rebuilt that motor. We put a new radiator in the truck. We put a new heater core in the truck. New thermostat, new gasket. The only thing we didn't change was the clutch fan. So we found out through attrition, through it overheating, that was probably what the problem was. We had to actually buy the clutch fan from Ford. And if I remember, he paid close back in the day to $250, $300 for that clutch fan. And I'm afraid that's what's going on here with this truck. Another thing that's going to vex you guys, that's vexing me, I'm going down, I have to get ideal hose clamps, and even they're not everything that they used to be. They cheapened up on them. Having a lot of problems with these hose clamps at AutoZone. Advanced Auto and those retail hose like Lowe's and stuff, don't touch the stuff. It's junk. It's not going to tighten anything. It might be good if you have low well, like water pressure, like a well at home to tighten your garden hose. They might work on that, but they're not working for automotive with not with the pressures, especially the newer vehicles. A lot of those have almost 70 psi in those lines when they're hot, and you don't want that coming apart on your vehicle. Okay, you can break timing chains, stop sensors, stop the engine, ruin the computer. You can do a lot of damage with a blown hose. Trust me on that. So basically, I'm going to start it up so you guys can hear her shake, rattle, and roll. Uh, this was for my lawn tractor. You people out there, we're going to go over the demonically possessed lawn tractor, because I think 1 out of every 100 Americans has a demonically possessed lawn tractor, and mainly there's those MTDs. I'm going to tell you how to fix that, how to get the MTD, the starters, and everything when you think they're bad, especially the ones with the Kohler engines. I'm going to explain that. So let me get that out of the way. That was sitting there from the tractor. It sounds a lot like my tractor. I got to get an exhaust, but this truck basically sat static for almost 2.5 years right there in that spot. And it was in the way of everything. It was in the way of my shade, working on my other customers' vehicles. And to hire somebody to come get my truck and tow it backwards and go in the other lawn, and I tried moving it with my tractor. My friend was supposed to come over with his backhoe, but he's busy. I don't know what he's doing over there. He must be digging a bootleg coal mine like the dead guys I have out back here. God bless him. But anyway, I was going to go get him. I think I mentioned it to him, forgot all about it. He never really came back over and offered me. So there are hinks and kinks to these projects when these trucks get to be 30, 40 years old. And the products that you're buying in these stores, like I said, like Advanced, they put every other independent retailer just about out of business. Napa's hanging on by a thread. They're buying some of the cheaper chain stores that are like CarQuest stores. They're buying them up. That's where this garbage came from. It's CarQuest. I don't have a lot of faith in their parts because I never had a whole lot of luck with their parts. So anyway, we had problems with relays. We had problems with getting a signal to the fuel pump, which I easily solved that. I found a jumper wire that goes on with the ignition. The problem with that is I have a rear tank I want to put in her. Like I said, there's a lot of work before this thing's on the road. I don't know if I'm even going to have it done this year. And I got the motor knocked out of my truck with the bent crankshaft. So I've got the world on my shoulders. But I do know she runs. I do know she drives. She's not full of transmission fluid. That's why, as long as she made it back there, I'm not going to fool with her. I'm going to wait till I can get fluid and have the time. Right now, I got to get my lawn tractor going. The grass is growing, and I've got I had a clear coat, another product. I'm used to using it. I'm used to the way I use it. I use it the same way every time I buy it. They changed something, and it was coming out, and I was getting a lot of orange peel and ripple out of the clear coat. When I'm used to it, I would just go hammer down with the gun, like one nice easy pass, 2E. Well, I'm getting a lot of vapor out of the gun, and I know it's not the gun because I tried a different clear coat on a different vehicle. The only thing is these Nissans, they use a certain type of clear coat. They have a really, how can I say, high gloss. And if you don't use that really high gloss clear coat, they don't look right. Or you can tell they were repainted. This thing, you can't tell that I've touched it. Everybody says how nice it looks, and you can't really tell that it's been repainted unless you really use a microscope and you're a guy like me. I know it's been, fuddled. But if you just looked at it and you were the average person, you would never know it. Well, I use this clear coat that's for these foreign cars, and it's garbage. They did something to it. I'm getting ripple. I'm getting a lot of vapor out of the gun. Like, I don't know. It reminds me if you overload your base coat or another paint with a lot of reducer, you get that big cloud. Well, that's what happens when I put that clear coat in my gun. So I have no idea. It's a brand new can. It's probably going back, and it was sold again on Amazon. I just did a thing about the sneakers on Amazon. They're counterfeit. They're either counterfeit or Nike and Reebok. They slid that far into the toilet. But their sneakers are anything but comfortable. So I'm going to let you go with that. I just wanted to let you know that that linkage is, that's a sore point with me. You call Summit, they showed me a picture of a cable. That's fucking fine. Do you have the ball pivot? I got a picture of a cable from them. What about the ball pivot to hook it in? Well, that cable I'm looking at, the picture is so shady and so shoddy. It's probably the same cable as this, but I don't have that pivot to hook it onto. And I do have the junkyard piece. I went to Harry's, I think I mentioned it. I pulled one in the junkyard, a factory piece. So I know what I need. If I have to, I'm going to have my buddy down at My Core Welding, I'm going to have him maybe fabricate something that I can thread and secure that on the linkage. I don't know what he would come up with, but him and I, we grew up with stock cars. All of these guys around here that I deal with, a lot of the ones that aren't dead or in jail or anymore, those guys, they know their poop. You take something to them, it gets fixed. So I got grass to cut, and I got this nightmare of a Nissan. Like I said, the back door turned out fine. I noticed it. I noticed it halfway through the job that like I said, there's some kind of malfunction with the clear coat, because I did the back door basically and a small coat up on the other door with what I had left in the old can. Then I opened the new can I got from Amazon, and that's, like I said, I've got a fucking surprise that I've got to work out. So, like I said, hose clamps, hard parts, the stuff is going to hell. It really is. It really, really is. You just, no matter what you buy anymore, it's not the same. It's cheapened up. It's garbage. And I'm sorry to be so pessimistic, or what do you want to say, condescending, but I am getting that way, and it is mentally affecting me that I'm used to buying a product, or I'm used to going into a store. I know everybody. They broke up the CarQuest down where I used to go for paint and stuff. It was a CarQuest store, but they had a lot of other products there. You didn't have to buy necessarily the house brand. You know, you could order Delco Remy, standard ignition, different things. You could order it down there, just pay for it. These other stores, they don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Well, we don't have that. Yeah, you got Chinese garbage, and that's what the retailers have done to us, Joe Q Public. They've given us garbage, and they're used to feeding us. The more we tolerate it, I think, without rebelling against it, the more they're going to do it. But I am really pissed at Amazon with this. You know, this car would have been done, it would have been out of here. And to explain it to a customer, or like that car belongs to my relative, to explain it to them, they don't necessarily want to hear it. They just want their car back. They don't care you had a problem. And I'm, you know, sometimes I'm the same way. You know, you told me Friday I could have my vehicle back, and it's, you know, now Wednesday of next week. Well, now I sort of understand what's going on with that. So you guys have a nice weekend. We're heading into the weekend, and it's going to be bright and sunny, and then it's supposed to get cold again. We're having 50-degree temperature differentials. One day it's barely 50 degrees, the next day it's 80. Holy Christ, like 30 degrees difference in days, and just in 24 hours. They're trying to kill us all. And my sinuses, I've never had sinus like this. Never. All right, enough.